do we know in history attended church services and mass orgies with equal devotion? Grigory Rasputin, the mad monk of Russia, was one of such caliber. He was not exactly as Disney depicted him, carrying around a magical reliquary and talking to a small bat, but he was certainly a man surrounded by myth and mystery. Even his birth date is not even known to this day. Today we're going to explore the background of Rasputin, how he became highly revered to the Romanovs and equally despised by his countrymen, and how much it took to kill this evil monk. Now the doom of the Romanovs began with this mad monk. Although he was neither mad nor a monk, he certainly was someone of very much influential power. Born sometime between the years of 1863 and 1873, he was a Siberian peasant, and in his small Siberian village, he was quite a troublemaker. He was very obsessed with stealing from his neighbors, going out onto drinking parties and falling out in the streets passed out drunk, and then attending a bunch of mass orgies and having lots of sex with different women. This kind of behavior developed in his early years, and it continued, especially when he came across the Skopsky sect, which was a renegade sect within the mystical Russian Orthodox. Their creed was that if you sinned, you yourself would be reducing the amount of sin available in the universe. So, wanting to help the human race, he sinned to his heart's content. Now, that was all according to the Evil Monk webpage, but the next webpage that I found was Rasputin Real, helped me to discover just how he took over the Romanov throne. He took a trip to the Holy Land, and with this, he was able to fool many a political leader that he was someone of a decent religion. But he also claimed that he had healing powers, by which he could heal the injured or the sick with just the power of prayer. His claims attracted the attention of Tsarina Alexandra, the wife of Nicholas II, whose only son was an innocent victim of hemophilia, in which case, when you get a small cut, you bleed to death. She was desperate to find a cure, fast, because as only a 6-year-old, he had already experienced 2 mass trauma attacks and had nearly died both times. So, eager to cure her son, Rasputin was instantly hired. Working in private with the young Tsarevich, he managed to somehow stop the hemophilia, but the way that he stopped it, no one knows. Many people think it was actual divine power, hypnotism, or some kind of demonic procession of power. So, with their Alexei cured, Rasputin remained a member of the imperial court, and a very trusted member to Alexander's court as well. Now, in the book of the Concise History of the Russian Revolution, it was after that Rasputin helped Alexei's hemophilia that Rasputin's reputation went down with the Russian people. This was because the secret of Alexei's hemophilia was supposed to be kept a secret, and when the people found out about this, their faith in their czars and his family went down, and they considered Rasputin sort of a warlock, and they shunned him. Now, somehow, Rasputin was able to turn this around, and I'll tell you how. Nicholas II went away during World War II to fight on the front lines with his Russian comrades. While he was away, his power in the city of Russia was left to Alexandra, and Rasputin was her right-hand man. So he was able to put his influence on the Tsarina's own political choices. He was able to fire, kill, and exile many of the people who despised him or wanted to have him dead. He was also able to pocket bribes and to wallow in drunken orgies during this time as well. Soon many wanted him dead because they hated him, and the imperial family was angering them with their secrets, and the fact that Nicholas II sent their people out to be slaughtered in World War II didn't exactly help them. So, with the death toll rising in World War II, it was explained in The Life and Times of Grigory Rasputin, the death of Rasputin was very imminent. On December 1916, the assassination plans were made by 3 of Rasputin's greatest enemies, Prince Felix Yusupov, Grand Duke Dmitry, and Vladimir Purishkevich. They all decided to fool Rasputin by saying that there was a party in the Prince Felix's basement. They lured him over there with promises of decent women in the basement and lots of drinks and food. While he was waiting for the women to arrive, they fed him poisoned cakes and drinks. Somehow he managed to survive all of this. But to try and combat this negative result, the prince and his two comrades decided to club and stab him. They clubbed him everywhere, in the back of the chest, in the back of the head, the front of the face, and in his abdomen. Nothing seemed to work. The Rasputin was still alive. So they took his somewhat mangled body, threw him in a sack, chained him up, and then tossed him into the icy river that ran behind the prince's own palace. The next morning, they found his body lifeless on the shore, and upstream, they found claw marks under the ice. Rasputin has somehow managed to survive even a mile underneath the water. Now, before he had died, Rasputin had somehow left a message to the Tsar, and it addressed about how he thought he would not be able to make it to January 1st of that year, which he didn't, and how he felt that if he was murdered by someone who was not related to the Tsar and his family would be fine. They would live and reign in Russia for many hundreds of years. But the grim part is, Rasputin was in fact murdered by the Tsar's own nephew, Prince Felix. So, Rasputin's other prediction was that if he was murdered in this circumstance, the Tsar and his family would themselves be shot and killed within 2 years of Rasputin's death. His unfortunately accurate prediction became known as the Romanov curse. Now, today I have shared with you the origins of this evil monk, and I have shown you how he became a symbol of hatred and corruption in his own history, and just how he met his demise by his fellow countrymen. I hope that this has sparked an interest in the Russian history, and that it has helped separate the myth from the facts of Grigory Yefimovich Rasputin. До свидания.